I was watching a Theory Fighter video on
Balloon!
and it got me thinking of this clip.
And a fireball that does more damage on block than on hit, likely due to a programming error.
No disrespect to Gerald. Love that guy. He doesn't even stand behind these statements anymore. But if you only know a few things about Sailor Moon S on Super Famicom, this aspect of Jupiter's special move, Coconut Cyclone, is probably one of them. It's pretty visceral to imagine. Blocking a fireball, while not usually ideal, is always better than getting hit by one. But it appears that Jupiter has a fireball that goes completely against that idea. I'm not going to tell you that Jupiter Coconut is not a good move. Hell, I would argue it's the best special move in the game. But if you actually talk to any SMS player, they won't sit there and tell you to just take the damage since the game is broken XD. There is counterplay to Coconut, but more importantly, it's a very interesting air-to-ground fireball in a traditional fighter that doesn't break the game. Players outside the SMS community don't really understand it, or even new Jupiter players for that matter. So that's what this video is going to be all about, Jupiter's Coconut Cyclone. So to start off, I should explain what the move actually is. Jupiter Coconut Cyclone, called Coconut for short, is an air-to-ground fireball performed with quarter circle down punch in the air. Height doesn't matter. Jupiter can do this move very close to the ground or very high up. She can also do it without a backdash since the game considers you airborne during backdash. Once Jupiter does the coconut, she cannot act until she lands on the ground again. And very importantly, Coconut does not have a hitbox until it lands on the ground either. Only the pillar has a hitbox. Speaking of the pillar, it cycles through multiple hitboxes, lasting for quite a bit depending on whether Jupiter pressed light punch or hard punch. This can result in a move doing multiple instances of chip damage, and since it does 3 points of damage on chip, if it chips 5 times, it does 15 damage, more than the 12 damage you take from getting hit by it. Thus where it does more damage on chip than on hit comes from. It's not really a programming error. All multi-hits in the game work like this. More likely, it's just that ArcSys made Coconut do a bit too much damage on chip. Also, this only really happens if you are cornered, since usually the pushback from one blocked hit of Coconut sends you too far back to get chipped repeatedly. All this doesn't really matter to any seasoned SMS player. The counterplay to Coconut is pretty simple, honestly. Just backdash forehead. Backdashes in SMS are invincible frame 1 and can be guard cancelled into, allowing you to take a chip hit of Coconut and then backdash the rest. Or just backdash away before it lands. Or hell, just walk forward as Jupiter throws a bad Coconut. Coconut is not a move to just land free, easy chip damage at any time. It's a tool for controlling space, a critical part of the SMS meta due to guard canceling being such a prominent action in the game. As mentioned before, Jupiter can throw out Coconut at many different points of her being airborne, giving her access to so many different angles she can cover. It's actually a joke among the community to rate how good a Jupiter player's graph paper is in reference to how well they can precisely place Coconut to control space. You can use it as both a sword for attacking, but also as a shield for defending basically. You can quickly backdash to throw a Coconut to stop a jump in or walk. You can throw them full screen to punish predictable fireballs. You can guard cancel backdash into it to escape pressure. You could stall with it. There's so much depth to how you can use this move, even outside of pinpoint placing them on the stage to control space. And of course, Jupiter can always just stop spacing with the move and go for a risky cross-up to do massive damage. This is hard to pull off in an actual match. Jupiter's jump is kind of trash. But it's a mix-up if the opponent is constantly dealing with coconuts. Sure is more likely than actually landing her trash desperation. So yeah, Coconut is a staple of Jupiter play, but it isn't a one-note flowchart option for doing chip damage. It's one hell of a knowledge check, but a lot of fighting games are like that. SMS definitely not excluded. Hope you enjoyed this small look into the interesting meta that is Sailor Moon S. One of these days I'll talk about an actual one-trick pony in the game. But until then, I would recommend you go to the middle option in the main menu, select Jupiter, and see just how good you can make your very own graph paper.